Okay. I seem to be live. Live chat's up. Hey everybody, can you hear me? I'm on my phone right now. This is my phone. Hey Marshall, how's it going? Nice to see you. Yeah, my computer died. The titler is referring to my computer specifically. Studio Geek 32. Nice to see you. This is my first time ever trying to live stream from my phone. It's probably a better camera than my laptop had, but my laptop is completely dead. I got to get the stuff off the hard drive somehow at this point, but that'll be at a later date. And I got a new computer. One thing it doesn't have is a webcam, because what I did was and a new keyboard. Yeah, we'll get into that too, if you want to call it a keyboard. And there's a couple things that are interesting about what I decided to do. What I was gonna do is what the normal thing to do is get a new computer and go for whatever range of new computer you want to do. But I went the refurbished route. So yeah, this is a 40%. This is the Vortex Core. This is like the on-screen keyboard as a real keyboard. But what I did is I got myself a desktop, big old honking desktop, refurbished for about $200, and a couple things it didn't have. Like it actually did have a keyboard and mouse connected, or with it, that came with it, but they suck, and so yeah. But I already have enough of those already anyway, and I already had a screen by having a TV. But the thing is, it didn't have a Wi-Fi adapter, so a Wi-Fi network adapter. So yeah, so I had to go out and get a USB one, and I got the best there is out there, the Nighthawk, as far as USB ones go, and it's like 1900 megabytes per second or something like that. But yeah, and did I lose the chat? No, you guys are still there. It's just yeah, cool. Awesome live chat, cool. Yeah, I can buy a good $50 webcam. Yeah, so on that route, I know about the. I'm going to go with the Logitech, because that's something I know I'm not going to have an issue with after I buy it. And I bought so many things that are just like, whoops, yeah, there was hype for it, but it was wrong in some way. But tried and true is the Logitech stuff. So as far as that goes, is the C920 for $50 I can get. Also, I also saw that I could get a C922 for also around $50 or $60, and that would be cool. But so yeah, you have the C920, awesome. Studio Geek 32 says. Yeah. Apparently, a lot of people do, and it's just been an industry standard for a while. And I've watched videos now of it comparing to all the rest of the stuff, and it's really great. Compared to the C922, it also has better autofocus still. Like they used an autofocus on the C922 that was not quite even as good as, but although all the other specs about it are the best. Are a little bit better. But the best is what I was going to say is the Brio, right? The Logitech Brio. And that does 4K, but I think it might be a little bit better quality on other specs too. And I see that that's for 150, so new, that is. So yeah. So that's the stuff I'm looking at. But until then, I set this up with rubber bands on my regular photo uh, tripod, and I just put rubber bands around the top and just 2 bands around the phone like that, so I balance it, and it's working pretty good. But yeah, I don't think I'll do this very. I'll try not to be streaming from my phone for very long because it's a. I'll try to get that webcam going because this is very limited, and I do want to learn OBS and get OBS going too. I noticed. I wanted to mention. I noticed Inky Blue, Inky from Damn Cat Studios, just uploaded an Acid 303 type of video, and it's really good with 2 circuits and a circuit mono station, and it's amazing. It's really good. So you guys go check that out. And yeah, Studio Geek just said something, but see, like, it goes by, and yeah, I was gonna record my next video and doing the drum part. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. I noticed Karaoke Ken is live right now too. Another Ken, like me. But hey, nothing I can do about it. I tried to do this earlier, but actually it's taken me the last hour to realize, oh well, this is gonna go from the front camera and not from the back camera like it said before I clicked go live. It like was showing like it was gonna use the back camera, but I'm glad that I could switch back and forth, I'm sure. So that's the deal. But anyway, so like, yeah, that's why I didn't live stream last week, was because I didn't have a computer for the last 2 weeks. It's been kind of crazy because I've been kind of dependent on my computer, maybe a little bit too much. Maybe some of us can relate. Yeah. Cool. Studio Geek 32 is on spring break already. Wow. Yeah, we get that the first week of April for me. So yeah, that's coming up. I have the Generate up here. This was supposed to be out already. It was supposed to be out this month, and then they said end of February, but then they said not yet again. And now they're saying end of April is what they're shooting for the new stylophone to come out. And so yeah, anxiously awaiting that. Another really, well, let's get into, first of all, yeah, since I was talking about the PC, my keyboard. Hey, speak of the devil. Hey, Inky at Damn Cat Studios. Nice to see you. I just plugged your video because I just saw it and it's great. That's awesome. So are you using the 1.8 update on that and doing any like unquantized stuff, or I'm curious to wonder like whether anyone cares, and I'm sure this is mostly for circuit users, but hey, Darren T House, how's it going? Nice to see you as always. But like this new 1.8 update, it's like it's revolutionary. Like this is the biggest thing to be happening right now in the world of synths, is the fact that the circuit, which was what it was and always was what it was, and it was getting better, and then it was turning into something that was better, then turning into something that was better, you know. And then the outsiders are looking at it and just going like, okay, well, what's going on with this? It's some kind of Frankenstein thing, you know. But they can see what's going on anyway. But the fact is, it just turned into something else. And the fact, what everybody always said and knew and had experience with and sold their circuits because of, is because of how limited it was, and because of how limited, how limited it was mostly about the fact that it was a quantized box, no matter what. It completely quantized you, and it just plain quantized you, and that was that. There was no amount of quantization. You just were quantized, you know? And so this does change everything. But for me, it's kind of like, I'm excited by the concept, but then I'm like, well, but I like how it quantizes me. And I was like, I keep on thinking of all the ways that I like it because of that, because it seems to be the thing that I have that does that. So yeah, right? Yeah, there's the chord thingy, the analog synths with it. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I'll just do one of my put on one of my things here. But see like this, I put it in live, and that's what I like about it is I can put in things live, and it totally just quantizes everything. Okay, I'm just gonna get into this for just a second. Cool, somebody's moving. Marshall's moving. Yeah, hope the move's going okay. Now, see, here's the deal: is with my laptop, I could never edit videos. All this time, I've been struggling with the idea of, oh, inside the box, make music inside the box, make music outside the box, use DAWs, use hardware. Can a mixer and a recorder do what a DAW can do, and all that stuff. My all this stuff I've been doing has been greatly influenced by the fact that I've been putting off the idea of getting a computer that could uh, edit videos and put out something more professional. So, now that my laptop's dead, it changes everything. This is a great thing. It's just not great that I couldn't get my stuff off of it and I'll have to go through that process. That's nothing. The fact is, so what I've got going on is I've got 3 programs basically on my new computer, and it can handle it because although it's a refurbished $200, what I got out of it was a Pentium i5 and 16 gigs of RAM, and that's what you need for editing. So even in 4K, you can edit if you've got 16 gigs of RAM. Mostly, if you're conservative with what you're doing and efficient and stuff. And so basically, anyway, with this new computer, now I can finally go, all right, well, I'm taking DaVinci Resolve, which I've been learning for the last couple of weeks intensively, and start editing some videos. And so I am editing a video involving the amazing Gecko Loop synth. All right. That just came into my life. And it deserves a video that respects the kind of thing that it is, which needs an edited video. So that'll be my foray into actually editing my videos and, just not be comfortable so much with the idea of I can just put my stuff into the Zoom Q8 and be okay. Like this is better video even than the Zoom Q8 with my phone, and I kind of knew that already, but well, it's got a lot of noise there. You can see on the wood, it's got a lot of visual noise going on. But yeah, okay, cool. I'll take that advice later on. I'll re-look at the chat and everything and look up all the things I need to look up. Yeah. So there's DaVinci Resolve. There's Photoscape 3.7 because I've got Windows 7 on here so far. But when I move up to Windows 10, I'll just go to Photoscape X. And it's great. It's a great program, and more importantly, it's not subscription based like Adobe stuff. Yeah, I could do a big rant, which I'm not going to. I'm just going to say subscription based stuff is not the way to go. Adobe, it's worked out for them, of course, but I've always worked with, in the past, and way before they ever did subscription based stuff, Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects were things that I used on a daily basis. Where Photoshop was my life, right? And so I love the stuff, but since they work the way they work, I'm going with DaVinci Resolve, and including the DAW. Fairlight is going to be my main DAW, and I've got Photoscape on here for making pictures, dealing with my raw photos and doing things with them, making thumbnails, whatever I need to do that way, image wise. And the third thing is VCV Rack. I'll have VCV Rack on there, and Harrison Mix Bus. But and then I have everything covered, and that's kind of like my minimal computer workspace again, so that I'm not just distracted by other things that would be on my computer, because they're not. It's great. Okay, cool. You did the update for free last weekend. Yeah, I might do that. I just haven't learned enough about it yet. I haven't watched the Linus Tech Tips video on it or anybody else's, but I was planning on doing that just to see. Although, you know, although I never paid for software in the past, I don't mind doing that now with some things if they have a lot of value. But hey, yeah, if I can upgrade for free and there's no issues, then cool. If there's no limitations, then cool. Darren just said something. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I know I'm behind a fair amount on your videos, Darren. Alrighty. See you later, Inky. Nice to see you here. Just doing a chill. Uh, going live because like last week I didn't go live, and I could have tried this out, but I was like scared to do it. And I'm glad I did. This is not a bad way to go live. So I mentioned the stylophone. Oh, all right. Here's the. All right, but see, here's the deal. Yeah, the Minilog XD. I just want to mention that this is the other most exciting thing that's going on right now in terms of synthesizers, is the fact that this is finally here, because this is like what everybody's like was kind of like wanting, dreaming about, not really had the idea of yet, or all across the board. The fact is, it's just really, really good. I have a 4-voice synthesizer here. I went with the System 1 to be my very first synthesizer, and it's not only a monophonic synthesizer that can do, you know, bass lines and stuff. It's got 4 voices, so you can do pads, you can do everything, you know, your heart's content, piano stuff, whatever, to a limited extent in terms of, you know, how you play it or whatever, you know, 4 notes at a time. But the deal is, that's a huge thing to have. Like, so for a first synthesizer, this should be everyone's first synthesizer, the Minilog XD. And nobody should mess with just having a monophonic synthesizer if they can get something like this reasonably affordable, which you can. And the other thing about it is it's not just 2 analog oscillators. It's got that extra one that's the digital oscillator, but that you can put any kind of digital oscillator into, like the Platts. Like I've already talked about how the Platts has these 16 modes that are all different kinds of synthesis, completely different kinds of synthesis in their own crazy algorithms as their own synthesizers, just put in there as an oscillator. And that's what it's got as its third oscillator, and it doesn't just make a difference. It doesn't just add something. It's most of what it is. You know, once you get past the I know how to do subtractive synthesis with an analog oscillator, then what it really is compared to everything else is that. And what it can do with its voices, how versatile it is with everything else, except for the envelope, of course. And in my experience so far, you can do a lot in terms of most things you want to do with your envelope is either you want something, if you wanted a snappy attack, then you know, you can get that with an AD. You can get what you want with an AD, I think, in general. I don't want to go into it too much, but I just kind of feel like I've always been able to get what I want with an AD, in terms of like the kinds of sounds you want. They're either a slow sound like a pad or I don't know. Maybe that's simplifying too much. but I just think it's great. And the other thing about it is having the onboard oscilloscope, and that's a game changer too, and it just ups it compared to every other synthesizer on the market that could possibly be for someone who doesn't have a synthesizer yet, who wants to give a gift to somebody of a synthesizer, to somebody who doesn't know anything about it, from someone who doesn't know anything about it. This is something that would just be perfect, I think. And I don't think you need to go cheaper or more toy-like than that ever. And if you want to go with synthesizers. Yeah, I don't have a Mini-Log myself, but yeah. So I don't know if I would sell it, but the thing is, I've got a Mini Brute. Doesn't really compare enough for me to start talking about it like that. But like the thing is, yeah, okay. So Bo's latest video, go check out Bo Beats' latest video on the XD that he did at Thoman's event with Robin from Molten Modular. Was also one of the 3 guys in the video, along with the Thoman guy, and it made me, from someone who would just recommend this to somebody else, to someone who is considering maybe putting this as my keys instead of having this in my studio anymore, and take this out. Except the one thing that wouldn't work that way in terms of what this does for me that's really great is CV, right? Unless it does CV in the back. Cool, yeah. Let me read that again. It fades out when you guys say something. It fades out after a couple seconds. Cool. Schizo and Stereo, nice to see you here. You have a Micro Brute sub 37 and a disappeared again. Okay. And some Volca bass, Beats bass and keys. Yeah. Some Volcas. Volcas are great. Yeah, the Volca bass I think is revolutionary because it's the 3 voice sequenceable, each voice sequenceable, each oscillator sequenceable. And yeah, to have an FM synth, like a real FM synth like that in the keys and something that small is pretty cool. Although I really like the Reface DX, the Yamaha Reface DX for that too. Gotten a lot of recommendations from people on that. Kind of cool thing, my daughter's birthday is coming up, and she's been wanting, for months and months, she's been talking about it, whether or not she's going to get her blue banjo. She is going to get a blue banjo. This is called a Banjo Lele. And right, this is the blue one. First we were looking at like whether or not there's a pink banjo, and looked online, and we saw pink ones, but then they do blue ones too. And and ever since she's been like, my blue banjo, I want a blue banjo. And so she was getting a blue banjo for her birthday, and so that's what she's gonna get, and it's pretty cool. Pretty interesting. It really is. I've never really thought about it that much, but it really is. It's like 2 things that have nothing to do with each other, just squashed together, and it works, but it's a snare drum and it's a guitar. It's like a platypus of the music world. But anyway, speaking of unusual things, here. This is my new keyboard. No, you probably can't have too many synths. Yeah, unless it becomes a problem, you can't. And then if it becomes a problem, then yeah. But anyway, so this is the Vortex Core 40% keyboard, and it's taking some getting used to. Like, say, to do the see, the numbers are actually, you can't really see very well, but anyway, it's got 3 different functions. It's got a red function with a red function button. It's got green functions in the middle here, and then that's shift plus function, and then it's got blue functions on the other side, and that's the blue function button. And you hold that down and you get those keys, and so you get 3 layers of functions. Then you can program your own whole keyboard layout for 3 other layers. Just program it on the keyboard without software or anything. You just do a set of, you use the program button, and you can even write a phrase up to a certain amount of characters, or you can make executables and stuff like that. And so this could be like my super macro board, but it's not for gamers because gamers want dedicated keys, right? So you want a certain amount of keys, and especially your number row is really important. So you don't want to hold function to do your number bars, to do your number, and your numbers are across here on this one. And yeah, so I have to do exclamation point. I have to go shift and function 1 and tab. A couple of really weird quirks about this keyboard is that they've now changed the caps lock button to say tab on it, but it's still with I guess I gotta update the firmware, because it's still, in order to, it's still caps lock instead of tab, and in order to do caps lock, I have to go shift function and click it. But I got Cherry MX brown switches. See, they're clicky, but they're not like really treble clicky. They're almost thunky. Almost got a little thunk to them. Did I turn off the chat again? Oh, yeah. So yeah. So there's that. But what this is really important for is getting me to be typing again. And the important thing for me about why I went 40% is so I could try out the doing all home row and not moving my hands thing. And I know that actually doesn't really help for ergonomics. Like, I'd say in the long run for doing most things, it helps to move your hands around more. So that theory, I think I would debunk a little on that. But if anyone has that theory in particular, it's more of aesthetics, saving space, and on my website, which is coming out soon, I am going to, one of my first blog posts is going to be about mechanical keyboards and why somebody would want a smaller one, but it's mostly gonna just be pointing to other videos. I might do that. I've got a few blog posts worked up already on it for my website, but I haven't finished building my website yet. You could actually go see it if I led you to it, but I don't want to do that because there's like no actual content. I'm building it with the help of a web builder, but I just realized I don't want a theme, and so I've been trying to get the themes off of there and just start off new. And so yeah, I'm in the process of that. I don't know if anyone's had to deal with that before, but yeah. I used to do HTML and Java, and I'm just glad it's not going to be anything like that. To have to try to make my website look nice by my own Java coding. It didn't even work back then. Everything I tried to do really was kind of not professional because it took a lot. It took a lot more back then to do stuff than it does now. Yeah, so... I don't know, how long has it been? A half hour? Yeah. So, basically, yeah, so I'm going to get a webcam and start doing that again. So what's going on with the next, this week? This month, I'm still going to come up with a rap and a song for, hey Hayes, how's it going? Sometimes my chat is working and sometimes it seems like it's not. Um, Nice to see you here. But I was gonna do a rap and a song um, for somebody else as like a collab. And the other thing I was gonna do is maybe like use the circuit and try to try to come up with like um, a theme song that I can put at the beginning of videos because I'm gonna start editing videos. And yeah, like Studio Geek asked, yes, that's the thing that's gonna change is I'm gonna start actually making real content soon. Um, and see, like today, like I wasn't gonna come up with anything to live stream, for, like any kind of reason in particular to live stream. But like that's what I wanna. I wanna actually always have a list of stuff. But I've just been going through it because like when your computer dies, it just like shuts everything down. But then it's something that I needed to do because for one, VCVRAC, I've already been able to put 3 rows of stuff on there and mess around, and it still is not crackling and popping and maxing out my CPU. So that's what I always needed. Is I always needed a better computer for a better CPU for VCVRAC. It's going to be a lot better for in the DAW. So not only can I edit videos now, um, I can layer sounds. Um, I can layer sounds and layer tracks and do more tracks in a DAW without worrying about it. And that's a big deal. So, but I didn't have to pay through the nose for it. $200 plus $50 for the Wi-Fi adapter, right? It's a USB Wi-Fi adapter. I could have got a PCI, but I want to maybe have it for my next computer. And it's versatile. And then I'm gonna have to get a webcam, right? And I would spend as much as I need to spend on that in order to get what I need because I live stream every week and I have a goal to keep on live streaming every week and not even miss it like I did last week. So that's why I'm on my phone for the first time ever. I think it's working out. Yes, I did. But no, refurbished PCs. I got a Dell Optiplex 9010. Um, and that's the thing. It's an Intel i5. It's got 16 gigs of RAM. I even found ones that had 32 gigs of RAM for 250 and for 300. Right? And that's the important thing. Yeah. Wait. All right. See you later, Darren. Take it easy. Yeah. So yeah. So exciting new things that when you have a computer that just does what the baseline thing you need computers to do, instead of having a whole bunch of limitations, then obviously not, that's not the thing that's gonna make me go make music back in the box and not be using hardware. That's for sure, because they obviously are two completely different things, two completely different types of activities, two completely different ways of saying that you're composing music in the first place. To even conceptually composing music is just so much a different type of animal in a different world. Uh, if you're one putting it together or two just recording it. Because the recording part, it's almost like for some people that's the stages. The recording part is always the first stage, and some people skip that stage, but some people don't. And then some people are like, well, you don't need those later stages. And they don't use them. And then some people go so extreme in that they even play live in front of people. And I want to go that route. I want to play live in front of people. So like my next live streams should be like music, right? I should do more music because until there's more to talk sense about, or maybe I should always do like first half music and second half synths? Or should I do first half synths and second half music? Like, what should we be doing? I don't know. It keeps on telling me welcome to the live chat. I wonder if I'm cutting in and out at all. I don't think so. I think my phone is doing pretty well at this. How's everyone doing out there? How do you like this, the Circuit 1.8 update? What do you think about the fact that the Circuit is now, like, you know, just as good as all your other stuff that does unquantize? I don't know. Maybe I was just projecting. Maybe nobody really actually does care about the details of the circuit except people who have it. But if you're gonna buy it, yeah, it pretty much is just like it's a steal now for what a circuit costs. You know, something that does so much. Oh, the other thing about the update is there's other things about the update. Now there's micro timing in the sense, obviously you could do micro timing other ways than just unquantized. But also, you can choose your MIDI channel. And that's a big deal too, is like, oh, the circuit has to be on 1, 2, and 10. It has to be on 1, 2, and the drums are on 10, always. And that's been a limitation for a lot of people. And any sense that have it so limited as to say, well, you can have this come into channel 1 or 2, or you can have it read from only channel 1 or 2, then that sucks. And I think the mini brew is like that too. You can either do 1 or 2, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's, if I remember right, when I went into the computer to change it, yeah, I had to, you know, I had to put the system 1 on 1 and the system, or system, and the mini brood on the other, and I wouldn't be able to use the upper ones, you know. I think with the system 1 I can, though. So always, that as a baseline, there's no reason for anyone to ever accidentally come out with a synthesizer that doesn't work on all 16 channels in terms of MIDI channels. And should always send clock properly. Should always have options as to whether or not you send clock or not, whether or not you send CCs or not, whether or not you send note messages or not, because that's been so huge on the circuit. It is just because I didn't want to use the circuit with the RC505, for instance, because every time, and the same thing with the System 1, because every time I would change a session on here, it would change the patch on there. It's like, in order to do that in a way you'd want to, you'd have to like plan out a show where, and then like put the patches in those particular slots for that particular song, and you know, it's like, oh my gosh, no, you need it flexible enough to where you can turn that stuff off, turn off some messages, but keep the clock on, right, and stuff like that. Or turn off the clock if you want separate clocks. Yeah. I feel like I should probably like just get to work on stuff. Now that I spent too much time getting all this worked out. This is great that I know how to do it. I'm not gonna have get a webcam within the next couple weeks, so I'm gonna keep on streaming on my phone. I hope the audio's okay, because you're gonna have to hear music out of my speakers if I do music, right? Alright. So. Am I going in and out? Oh, I see. Uh-huh. Yeah, totally. With the drum brute impact. Issues with that. Yeah. I almost just want a clock device that just does clock. The drum brute impact with the mini log sync. It's always 4 times faster than the tempo you're sending out of the drum brute. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, man, this stuff is interesting. Like getting clock into the Eurorack is really interesting. Um, yeah. Should I do this here? Got the Eurorack over here. See, I've got like all the stuff here. It's like oh well, yeah, and that's the main thing is the DFAM. I'm trying to like point to things. The DFAM is like I don't have a way to properly clock the DFAM because it takes because a square wave from an arpeggiator is just not accurate enough. It drifts. I mean, it's either just a little bit behind. It's a little bit behind. Um, so when I put that into the advanced clock, right? And if I just had a clock going into the advanced clock from something, then that would be great. Yeah. So like a clock module, and then that could go to whatever and clock whatever. But like, yeah, CV clock and then MIDI. So that's what made me want Pamela's new workout, or Tempi, or UTemps. Um, yeah, would do the trick on that, and they also have LFOs and stuff in them too. But what I'm going for instead is I'm hoping that the Polyend SEC or Seek from Polyend, that I'm hoping that I'm going to receive it sometime this year, within the next year. I'm hoping that it sends clock. I could go check real quick actually on this, but I'm hoping that it could send just clock from a channel and have that just be CV. Or that it does it well if you just put a click into the sequencer and it does it well, instead of having a mini brute that doesn't really have a sequencer to have a real click to put into the mini brute. or a clock for here. But see, that's the thing, is you can use triggers. Triggers are not quite the same as clock. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. Yeah. Yeah, MIDI to CV is very it's a very useful thing to have. And I work with VCV Rack, and I plan on working with VCV Rack a lot more. And yeah, you can go from your MIDI that's going on in your computer, or any kind of MIDI in, if you can get MIDI into your computer, you can change that to CV in there, or obviously some people have used the way to bring CV into your computer, but that's not very common. So yeah. How I plan on doing it is just using a sequencer like the Polyend SEC and its companion module, which is the Polyend Poly, which does MIDI in and 8 channels with 3 different lanes of modulation per channel, which basically you go gate, volt per octave, and a modulation times 8. And I believe it also powers a keyboard too, or something like. Well, that's basically, obviously, powers a control surface like the Poly NSEC. But of course, you can use it. You can use the Poly and Poly module with other things, and I think it's a really great MIDI to CV module because it's just straightforward. But it might not be the best because it's not full featured. Like some are, like Pamela's new workout that can do multi-mode LFOs from all of its outs or whatever you want, and has a screen for doing more complicated stuff. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna call it good on the day. Thank you. Wait. Yeah, I'm gonna hold out while you guys are still talking, and I'm gonna read some of this. Oh, the MIDI Solutions Quadro through and it didn't work. Okay, so you guys are really troubleshooting schizo over here. That's cool. Yeah, well, man, it's every day I have those situations where it's like, well, every day that I sit down at my studio, these situations where like I want to do this, or I want to do this with the MIDI, but it's not working. Why is it not working? Well, I haven't found that out yet, and I just haven't. I'm just not going to until I am able to try some other things that I can't try yet, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah, set them to external. See, can it send out on channel 10? That's what I was talking about the circuit. Is like, and the original Mini Brute. Like I think it's limited on what channels you can do it on. No, you rock, Hayes. I didn't do anything, but I'm just talking about MIDI in general. But you guys are awesome. Yeah, and I gotta go actually. And so thank you for coming, Schizo and Hayes and Inky and Studio Geek 32 and Marshall Arnold and everybody. Yeah, next time I'm gonna just go ahead and do more music like I did the last live stream, and just like do a setup and do just like a hardware jam and keep doing hardware jams, and have live streams be the way to do that, because I want to be editing my actual videos that I record by myself. I want to edit them and stuff, and not just do hardware jams. And so that's what I'll do when live. Anyway, sort of like this was day 13 of January. I'll just play you guys out here. You can stay as long as you like. I don't even remember this one. I mean, I don't remember any of my Januaries because I literally just sat down and did them, and that was like the only time I heard it, except for when I heard it back on YouTube. But man, this was I don't know how I did it, but it is pretty cool. I like it. I can mess with the drums a little bit. Alrighty. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody. I will see